Except no laughter.
I thought you said play it for laughs.
I said comedy, mate, not laughs. Laughing is anti-comedy. I don't want to be told when to laugh.
Other people's laughter isn't telling you anything. It's just an innocent expression of collective jollity.
Collective jollity? What's collective jollity got to do with comedy? Comedy should be exclusive and elitist. If everybody gets it, then what's to get?
The joke.
And there's your problem right there, Burbage. In comedy, jokes are worse than laughter.
Mr. Burbage, halt rehearsals. I've had the most brilliant idea. A way to uplift and inspire, to fill our theatre with joy, to move people so much that they tell their friends and perhaps even return a second time themselves.
Oh, do not jest, Will. For word of mouth and repeat business are the holy grail of the theatre owner. For such things we would sell our souls.
Then pop your soul in a bag, mate, and I'll take it with me. Because I've got the answer. Music.
Music? Oh, dear, well, you really have lost your touch. We already use music, had you not noticed?
We strum our lutes at the beginning and we blow our pipes at the end.
And from what I've heard, Condell, you blow a few pipes in the interval too. Whoopsie-phobic or brave and edgy? You decide.
God, he's doing his laugh again.
I thought you said you didn't like laughter, Ken.
Group laughter, mate. Everyone laughing together, that's never right. But solo laughter, or me laughing very loudly and intrusively at something that nobody else finds funny, that's the mark of a comic genius.
Excuse me, I'm trying to tell you my brilliant idea. I didn't just mean music at the start and the finish, Burbage. I meant throughout. For add music to theatre, and what do you have?
Theatrical music.
Yes. No. Musical theatre.
Oh, my God, I love it.
Love what, Condell? Mr. Shakespeare has scarcely begun to explain himself.
I don't care, I love it anyway. Just those two words, musical theatre. They speak to my soul.
Of course they do. I'm talking about a play with songs. What's not to love?
Everything?
Let me think this through, Will. Are you suggesting that we find somebody to write songs to fit your plays?
Well, I thought that at first. You know, work with a composer on an original score. But then I thought, no, we need guaranteed hits. Lots of them. And how do we get those?
By using songs that are hits already.
Yes, by St. Bernard's buttered barm cakes. Yes, I'm on fire today. First, I invent the original stage musical, and then instantly make it obsolete by inventing the greatest hits musical.
Talk me through the detail.
Well, how does my Henry VI Part 1 open, for example?
At the funeral of Henry V, Bedford, Gloucester, Exeter, Warwick, Winchester, Somerset are gathered to mourn the king.
Each speaks at length. A soldier brings news that France is lost. Further extended monologues ensue. It's a very long scene.
Very long.
Like mad long.
It is not long at all. 25 minutes at most, and it flies by. But I admit that you don't exactly go home humming it. But imagine if, instead of opening with 15 pages of blank verse, we opened with, "Now is the month of Maying."
My God, 'tis a thought.
A brilliant, magical thought. I love, love, love it. I can see it now. Act 1, Scene 1, London, 1422. The street is filled with lovable Cockney characters, cheeky street urchins, costermongers, pretty flower girls, a perambulating top or two.
Enter the new king!
Strike up the players.
And the whole company sing "Now is the month of May."
2 minutes later, the entire audience will be on their feet with their arms swaying in the air. La 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 la. One more time!
More ale, Miss Lucy. Preview was a smash. They loved it.
They certainly did, Mr. Burbage. Everyone says they are going to go again and again. You should do an African musical next. My people have wonderful music using polyphonic ostinato, also call and response choral rhythms. Oh, you could do a story about a lion cub who can't wait to be king.
Can't really see people wanting to watch a story like that, Lucy.
Besides which, the theatre is full. Norwich Boy will run forever!
Hooray! Its run is already over, Mr. Burbage. Today's preview was the first and last performance.
Just how do you intend to stop us, Master Green?
Why, by abusing my power and my position, of course. All men crave social status, particularly lowly artists.
Oh, I get it. I'll handle this, Burbage. So, Master Green, you see that I have a hit, and in your jealousy, I come as Master of Heralds to offer noble rank in exchange for pulling the show.
Well, 'tis certain a gentleman could ne'er be associated with such an endeavour as this.
Sorry, Green, but it won't work. I would love for my father to gain his family coat of arms, which is his dearest wish of all. But sod him. I will not cancel my greatest hits musical.
But, Mr. Shakespeare, you misunderstand me. This is not about you.
Sorry, Geezer, I'm pulling the gig. You can't use my songs.
Tomster, we have a hit. Surely there's nothing that a rocking and a roistering popular music star wants more than a hit.
Well, there is one thing, Mr. Burbage, and fortunately I was able to recommend to the Queen that he gets it. Was I not, Sir Tommy?
Very nice, very tasteful. Loving that.
Knighted? Him? But the bloke's a shameless tax avoider.
I've done a lot of work for charity.
Yes, the knighthood is principally for Sir Tommy's charity work.
Which I've done a lot of.
What? What bloody charity work? We never get told, do we?
Couple of posh galas for the orphans. The occasional sumptuous dinner for the starving.
So you've been knighted for avoiding tax and showing off.
Yes, I think that is generally considered to be the proper heraldic process.
God, I hate this sceptred bloody isle.
Sir Tommy understands the ways of the world, Mr. Shakespeare, because, you see, he is a gentleman. Something nor you nor your father will ever be. Good day.
I just want to make music, man.
Well, canst not let the theatre go dark. We'll be ruined.
Well, we could just do the play straight, with lengthy monologues instead of songs.
I suppose we have no choice. But what would you call it?
A comedy of mistakes, misunderstandings, and coincidences.
Basically, it's just a comedy of errors.
Errors? Oh, I like that. That's good. I'll use that. A comedy of mistakes, misunderstandings, coincidences, and errors. Brilliant.
Finish your great teen romance, Mr. Shakespeare. Let me be your Juliet.
No, Kate. Quite apart from anything else, I just don't think the public wants to see a love story.
Certainly not one like your Two Gentlemen of Verona, where the hero brazenly cheats on the heroine, and yet you have her marrying the handsome Bastable anyway.
I needed a happy ending.
Well, it might have been nice if it had developed out of plot and character instead of simply being nailed on at the end.
If Faith the maid is right, I did just nail it on at the end. I canst only hope that the verse with which I nailed it be so obscure that future generations, trusting in my genius, will just think they're being stupid and have missed something. Look, I'm sorry, Kate. I know you want to play Julian.
Juliet.
As I said, Juliet. And I would love to see the play performed. But as you know, it's a work in progress. I've got my double death ending, but much else remains unwritten. For instance, I need a lot more lines for the amusing nurse.
No, don't do it, Master. Less lines. Trust me, Kate read me a bit. The nurse really gets on my nerves.
She could be getting a teeny bit irritating with her endless clucky-duckiness, Mr. Shakespeare.
Which is why she needs more lines. You know my rule, if you're in a comedy hole, keep digging. I'm not going to do it now. It's a romance, and I can't risk a kissy-wissy, gropey-pokey load of sopply old Mushington right now. My next play must be a smasheroo. You know my dream.
To be recognised now and for all time as indisputably the greatest writer that ever lived, and to buy the second biggest house in Stratford.
Exactly. That's it, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell? What's that mean?
Oh, 'tis just one of the numerous inspired phrases which I am wont to coin, and which I'm confident will enter the common idiom.
Well, good luck with in a nutshell, because I think it's stupid. I mean, you couldn't really get anything at all inside a nutshell, because they're very, very small. And also full of nut. Closing the name.
Your observations, Bottom, are neither here nor there.
Is that another one?
Yes, just invented it. When it comes to language, the world's mine oyster. In fact, I'm so clever, I could end up with too much of a good thing.
Maybe you should stop now.
Can't. They just pop up all of a sudden. But give the devil his due. There's method in my madness.
Really, stop it.
Why? 'Tis a foregone conclusion that they'll leave you bedazzled and in stitches, and before long you'll be demanding more with bated breath.
The world's your oyster. Why would that be a good thing?
Tad obscure. What the dickens? I'll spoil my spotless reputation. Must be tired. I didn't sleep one wink. If I'm not careful, you'll send me packing on a wild goose chase, and I'll vanish into thin air or be dead as a doornail.
Stop it! I really mean it. You're very clever, Mr. Shakespeare, but you can be an awful show-off.
But with a heart of gold.
No! Just a show-off.
Aye, there's the rub.
Stop it! And actually, I happen to know you didn't originate the phrase dead as a doornail.
I blooming did.
You bloomin' didn't. William Langland did in his Middle English allegorical narrative poem, Piers Plowman.
Faith, the bothersome girl is right. Filched have I some of my finest phrases from prior sources and common usage. I can only hope that as years go by, the original derivation will fade from memory, and I'll get all the credit. We're in Padua, and Lucentio wants to marry Bianca. Beautiful, sweet, obedient, and, of course, as hot and steaming as a fresh cowpat in a frosty meadow.
I must say, I like her. My kind of girl.
You don't think it might be nice to give her a few tiny extra elements?
What elements did you have in mind, Kate?
Oh, I don't know. A character, maybe? A personality?
Kate, you weren't listening. I told you. She's mild, sweet, obedient, and hot. How much character and personality do you want?
Must say you're onto a winner here, mate. Cool Lucentio falls for hot Bianca and marries her. Perfect plot, job done. Let's go to the pub.
Oh, but I'm not finished. That's not all of it.
You got enough, mate? Quit while you're ahead.
That's what I keep saying.
You do this all the time.
Overcomplicate things.
Come up with a perfectly nice plot of boy meets girl, boy gets girl, and then you ruin it with all your usual rubbish of mistaken identities, absurd coincidences, supernatural interventions.
People not recognising their own lovers because they're wearing tiny, tiny masks. It's just daft.
Actually, I think Mr. Shakespeare's plot be already too complex.
Really, Kate? How so? I've scarce begun it.
Well, boy meets girl, boy gets girl. Why not just say boy owns girl and leave it at that? Perhaps displaying your leading lady alluringly clad and in a cage.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Look, I don't need a new idea or a new plot, complex or otherwise. I've got a plot, and it's brilliant. Lucentio loves Bianca. But Bianca has a sister, Catherine, who be all that Bianca is not. She be bold, assertive, opinionated, feisty.
Can I play her?
No, Kate. So, of course, no one would dream of marrying her.
Well, obviously, you'd have to be insane.
Thus, Bianca and Catherine's dad declares that none may marry sweet Bianca until he's offloaded Bolingbroke-busting Catherine.
Now, this is good.
Enter Lucentio's pal, Petruchio, a charming but feckless fellow.
Loving him already.
He needs a fortune, and he doesn't care who he marries to get it.
What a rogue, my kind of guy.
He offers to take Catherine and commences to break her spirit by starving her, refusing her clothing, and depriving her of sleep for days on end.
That's perfect.
And does Catherine cut this pervert's throat in the night with a rusty knife?
No, she allows herself to be happily broken and is soon hilariously agreeing with everything her husband says. I have a lot of fun with that. Driven to a compliance bordering on dementia, Catherine accepts that the sun is the moon and that an old man is a beautiful young maiden.
That's going to get a big laugh, that. Bossy Burgo's raving tonto. Love it.
I'm chuckling already.
Anyway, Lucentio marries Bianca and Catherine marries Petruchio, and at the wedding, the reformed harridan delivers a lengthy monologue about women being obedient to men.
What, there's even a moral? Oh, I don't know how you do it, Will.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's a winner. It'll be your most popular comedy yet.
Mr. Shakespeare, please do not write this appalling story.
Too late. Did it on the coach from Stratus. Burbage has it now. It's called The Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, best title ever. End of.
I have invented a new phrase, Mr. Shakespeare, especially for you.
Really, Kate? That's very flattering.
Yes, it is. For you are strong as if made from chain, exciting like a pageant. You have risen up from nowhere as if a city on water. You are a guiding light and the very heart of a man.
Your words move me, sweet Kate, but I would fain know their meaning.
Why, mail is made from chain, a pageant is a show, the city on water be naught but Venice. The light that guides is a star, and the heart of a man is his soul. Put them all together and you get...
Mail, show, Venice, star soul.
Anyway, did you have a good journey, love?
Astonishingly, no. Didn't get to sit down till Leamington Spa.
You gotta get there early if you want a good seat.
I know that, Dad, and I did. 3 hours early, and I got a lovely seat at the back by a window, and mark this, there sat none beside me. I put my cloak and pork pasty upon the adjoining place, avoided all eye contact as others boarded, and my ruse worked. Despite the coach being passing full, I myself had room to spare.
A double seat?
Aye, ma'am, a double seat is indeed such stuff as dreams are made of. But soon did it become a very nightmare as the hour of our departure comes, and yet we do not move. We sit and we sit. Now come travellers who would have missed this coach had it left upon its hour. Coachman, bar the door, I shouted. These travellers have missed this coach. The fact that it is still here is a technicality.
Quite right, you have to make a fuss in this world.
But I fussed in vain, Mum. The shabby grotling just grinned at me through toothless, rotting gums as first one, then another tardy traveller crowded in upon us. My coat and pasty were soon challenged, of course. Is anybody sitting there? Why do people ask that? Yes, actually, there is, but he's invisible. Of course nobody's sitting there. That's the whole futtocking point.
And so you had to shift your pasty?
Yes, while a girthsome yeoman who appeared to have eaten a turd omelette for breakfast crushed himself against me and began to scratch inside his codpiece. And still the coach doth not depart. Now we are jammed together like two boobies in a bodice. The stinksome bumshank of an unwashed peasant be in my face, my pasty knocked to the floor, which the dangle scratcher picks up for me using his dangle-scratching hand. So that now I cannot eat it, but must still thank Itchy Dangle for his kindness through clenched teeth.
And I don't suppose any explanation was given.
Why would there be, when imposing arbitrary inconvenience on the travelling public is the sworn duty of all who administer Albion's transport infrastructure?
But it moved in the end, son. I mean, you're here, aren't you?
No, Dad. It did not move. For finally, there comes a voice. This coach has developed a fault, and we must needs abandon it. Another awaits behind. So now you see the satanic conclusion to my tale. Suddenly, having been first on...
Oh, my God, you're last off?
Yes, a perfect storm of transport horror. I waited 3 hours to get a good seat, and now the mooching hooligans who should have missed it are first in the new queue.
Well, you should have said something.
I did say something. Coachman, ho, I shouted. Those who boarded last must do so again. Lock the new coach until I, who was first, can enter.
And did he?
Yes, he did. Except, no, he didn't. He just laughed and all made merry at my expense as I struggled on last and the door was forced closed behind me with my arsing cheeks caught in the gap. God, I hate this sceptred bloody aisle.
So, the Capulet Ball. Tybalt has departed in disgust. Romeo, fearless in his enemy's house, spies the exquisite Juliet across the room. Instantly is smitten. The gadsome youth has found true love. Their eyes meet. He approaches her. He takes her hand. The world stands still. He speaks.
Congratulations, you've been pulled.
The line, Kemp, is, if I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Yeah, and my line's better.
Kemp's line was rather more succinct. Yours is a tad obscure.
Oh, very obscure.
Like mad obscure.
It's not obscure at all. It's as clear as fairy snot. Romeo sees Juliet's hand as sacred, like a shrine. He says if she's offended by his touch, she should imagine his lips are two visiting pilgrims and let him kiss it better.
You're joking. That's what it means.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
Nor me.
Juliet coquettishly replies,
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch. And palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Oh, their hands kiss. Palm to palm. Oh, I like that. That's sweet.
and of course there's also the highly amusing internal pun.
There's a pun? Oh, God.
Obviously there's a pun. People love my puns. They love how obscure they are. Palmer is archaic slang for pilgrim. So Romeo, having called himself a pilgrim, is now offering a palmer's palm. So funny. It'll stop the show.
Maybe you could afford to lose that one, Mr. Shakespeare. Bit weak.
It is not weak. It's a bolted-on pant wetter. And in my view, it'll get even funnier as the meaning of the pun fades ever further into history. Now, proceed. Romeo asks, Kemp.
Have not saints lips?
And Juliet teases back.
Aye, pilgrim. Lips that they must use in prayer.
She's flirting, saying, naughty boy, you should use your lips for prayer, not kissing.
Yes, I think I got that one.
Then Romeo says, oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
No, you've lost me again now.
I must confess, I did start to glaze over.
Oh, for God's sake, Romeo is praying for a kiss, and if Juliet doesn't grant it, he'll lose his faith.
So Juliet teases. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
A holy saint isn't going to be giving out kisses even to answer a prayer. Then naughty Romeo, who by this time be as hornsome as the newly discovered African rhinoceros, which has, as you know, a very large horn, says, then move not, while my prayer's effect I take.
Pucker up, babes.
And Romeo kisses Juliet.
Oh, now that is a cracking good scene.
Yes, it's pretty good, Will. I must say, congratulations.
Now I understand it. I consider it destined to become one of the most celebrated lovey-kissy moments in all English theatre.
One of? Oh, thanks very much, Condell. Talk about damning with faint praise.
It's a good start, yeah? Two teens hook up at a party, like it, but to make it brilliant and edgy, they should get totally lathered and go get tattoos. Yeah? And Juliet passes out in the kitchen. Oh. Romeo cops off with her best mate. Juliet wakes up, stuck with his name tattooed on her bum.
Mr. Kemp, let us hope that the day never dawns in Albion when tales of young love will be reduced to mere celebrations of drunkenness and copulation.
Keep wishing, mate. History's on my side.